opportunity, but it should be an opportunity where you make this contract, you should get this amount of counseling. You this that just to help because we see an epidemic that's within a certain community. Now, in an everyday life, you should find some type of way to ask yourself, how can we always improve and how can we take the next step so I can get my mind, my body, my spirit right.
Agreed.
So I'm not hitting you or even taking out of myself.
Okay, agreed. And I think the other part of that is and stuff is that as parents, okay, excuse me. Mm-hmm. Thank you for calling the Sister to Sister show. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air. You got a question?
I would just like to say, if this with the Ray Rice, whatever, this, why is it all these people getting caught on the elevators doing stuff? And if he had not been on film, would the NFL have done anything? No.
Exactly.
These people do not. It's a big slave shop. They don't care anything about these people.
Right. Right.
It was all put out there to say, here's a young black man that's going to make a $4 million whatever contract. But just because you saw him react and smack his wife on film, we're going to suspend him for a year. He's going to lose his money.
Right.
Well, he's going to be more, I don't even know if they are really angry, but they're being used.
Right.
The whole thing is just being used, and it's really sad. And another thing, talking about people being angry, all the media stuff, everything is so negative. People are just so negative. They're not positive. Little babies, you look at them wrong, and they're looking at you all mean and evil.
You know what? You raised a good point.
Where's the positive stuff?
You raised a good point, because I seen a little baby in the supermarket and said, "Oh, you so cute," and it looked like, if you don't get out of my face, you know, it's like
you're right, man.
Mouth all shot out. They get this pouting going on.
Yes, definitely.
And won't smile back at you. And I know these little newborns. You got to watch them real careful. They're not affectionate. Mm-hmm. You have to teach your baby to be affectionate toward you.
Right.
And I thought one time it was just the babies that were born to drug-addicted mothers or whatever.
Right.
They do have a little problem. Mm-hmm. But I've seen babies that were born not to drug-addicted mothers, and they will smack their mama rather than kiss her.
Right, an emotional disconnect, and that's where it starts. You raised the point. Thank you for raising that, caller. Thank you for blessing me and watching the show. Thank you for calling in. If you have another question or comment, give us a call back. We're going to talk about that, okay?
All right.
The transferring of that negative spirit when you're having that child, when you're caring for that child, always be careful. And it's like when you're taking a drug, smoke, what have you. I tell people all the time, and a lot of women get mad, cleanse your body. In fact, cleanse everything if you can. Not just if you're a smoker. Spend a year. So if you drink, spend a year not doing these things before you decide to get pregnant. Agree. And then that way you help cleanse your mind. Or if anything, if you know that you're going to take that step, I realize that happens sometimes, unexpectedly, what have you. But honestly, if you know you're doing that and the chances are you're going to get pregnant, maybe get pregnant if you don't do the proper things. So, but either way, cleanse yourself.
We talked about that, and me and my mom talked about that. And if I insult anybody, it's not intentional, but this is a fact. I have said since the beginning that I was old enough to research that I personally believe if you check it out, men and women who indulge in some form of drug activity has retarded their kids. Not that your children is retarded. If you notice, there is a high rise in ADD, and attention deficit disorders, asthma, all of these things that are affecting our children is going back to the drug game. I always tease my son. I always tell people, your sperm cells don't know which direction they need to go in because they're buzzed, okay? I'm telling you, the toxicology of our children is at an all-time high. When you look at it now, once upon a time, your parent was able to say, oh, you can't sit your behind still in school? I got something for you to sit still. But now our children have no focus. They can't sit still. They don't pay attention. That's toxic. I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, one of those parents indulged in some form of drug.
But one of the things that got, and not to jump on to switch the subject a little bit, but one of the things that's gotten away because they don't realize what got changed in the schools.
Right.
People forget music and gym is taken out of school.
Out of school.
So now we got focused on there's no child left behind, which is underfunded, and all these other problems with it, lack of diversity. So now you're not teaching the child or allowing the ability to A, release their energy, and B, having to deal with multiple things. I personally am not a fan of this block scheduling that you see in a lot of different school systems. I will not. I could love the area. If I had a child, I refuse, because you need to learn how to deal with multiple different things. I understand some people may not be able to handle whatever, but you have to learn to adjust, because what you're trying to do in school is not life.
But I want to bring that back in, and I'm glad we went to the school thing, but I'm going to put this back in perspective. About 3 weeks ago, there was a little girl by the name of Anna Lynn that was assaulted on the playground. And this child came home looking like she got hit by a Mack truck. And I said, what kind of children then are we raising that would assault? 5-year-old, they all little. And if that person, and now they've turned around and said she fell off the monkey bars. Ain't no monkey bars beat that baby up like that. So I want to leave that. But they told me my time is winding down. So I definitely wanted to first, again, thank you all that tuned into the show. Thank you, Mom, my family, my nieces and them, my #1 fans. I know you guys are watching. I want to thank my executive team, Carmel Entertainment, Leroy, and my husband for behind the scenes in the camera. All of my guests, my sisters that's been on here will be back on in April. My radio show starts on